So this demo, I'm going to show how to find out the restriction enzyme recognition site in DNA sequences using Python and regular expression pattern match. So I'm going to use the RE module and also going to use the FASTA module. The FASTA module is we developed in CRS 115, which contain a function to read the FASTA record into Python dictionary, and the input sequence will be in values, and the headers and the identifier will be keys, depending on how the method is modified. And the input file, I'm going to using a very small subset of each gene sequences. That's the DNA sequences. And the output file, I will just call it remapping.txt. So I then write a small function to look for motif in the input sequences if it using the re.search function. If the input sequences contain the motif, return true, otherwise return false. So those are the restriction enzymes I'm going to use for this small demo. Because all those sequences are palindromes, so I do not need to look for reverse complementary matches in the sequence. That's the pattern itself is palindrome, so if I looking for the reverse complement, it's basically the same. So now look here, I actually using a fake restriction enzyme site called GGTA. This is just for debugging. So if I want to release program this, I can just comment that out. Why I use that for debugging, you will see once I start to run on real sequences. Why I pick GGTA is also because when I look at my first sequence, the DNA sequence start with ATG and then followed by GTA. So the pattern here called GGTA start at 0, 1, 2 position. So I want to see whether my program can recognize this fake restriction enzyme called test1, which recognizes GGTA. It should return this site here. So that's just for testing. Now I'm going to output my file into out, and then I loop over the sequence dictionary by its keys, and then loop over the restriction enzymes also by its keys called REM. Now, first, I actually use a logical control here, what I call light, basically like traffic light. So if the input DNA sequence contain a motif and it's true, the light is on, and then the while loop going to continue search. But how do I move from the current recognition site to the next one? This is because after I match it, the result, the current position will be the result.start, but I'm going to call the position is the current position result.start plus 1. And this basically moving forward by one position, by one nucleotide. So basically, and then I look for the motif again in the DNA position by one nucleotide, moving one nucleotide over, and look for the same pattern again. So if it has that position, and then it's going to return additional position. Otherwise, it stops there. And those lines basically put all those matching results into one string. Now, I not only print out the restriction enzyme recognition site, I'm also print out the matching site in the DNA sequence just to double check, make sure my code is running correctly. So here is, I'm going to run it. So if I run this code, Python 3.3, site matching, it's going to print out here is actually for my test 1 site, it found GGTI in position 2.